Good morning, Centerville Elementary. It is finally springtime. I'm seeing kids biking around, scootering as they walk through their neighborhoods. And what I want to do is just take a few little minutes to kind of go over some spring reminders. We did such a fabulous job during the winter of following the 4 R's, not only outside at recess, but also in the cafeteria. And I want to make sure that we continue down that path for the last couple of months we have left. All right, so here's a couple of reminders. So with the good weather, the beautiful weather outside, some of you are starting to bike or walk to school if you're allowed and you're within that school's range. A few things I want to remind you about though. One is that we are not to be arriving any earlier than 9:02, not 2 minutes after 9. I know some kids will be getting here earlier. We cannot be doing that. Here's why. There's no adult supervision, and when we get here early, sometimes we get restless. So you cannot be here before 9:02, so make sure you're timing yourselves well. Secondly, when you get here, if you walk to school or you ride your bike, I want you to be standing outside the door of where you're going to be entering. I don't want you wandering around, going down by the grass or onto the basketball court or anything like that. We can't be playing sports and stuff like that ahead of time. We need to be right by the door. Okay? Finally, when we get here, I want all the bikes to be in the bike rack, and I want all the helmets to be placed either in your locker or in your cubby. If you choose to hang it on your bike, that's fine, but it might get stolen. But we definitely don't want them up in the trees or hidden by bushes. That's not something we do. And then, finally, if you look here, there's this shoe here with the Heelys on it. I talked about it last week, but no Heely shoes. That's a safety concern for us. All right, so don't be here before 9:02. Make sure your bike's in the right place along with your helmet, and then make sure you don't have Heelys. Thanks. All right, playground. A couple reminders for you. First of all, chalk. Sidewalk chalk is used for the sidewalk, the blacktop, but not on the school. I do not want to see you writing on a school, and I noticed a little bit the other day. 2, if you take a ball out, bring it back. You're going to be seeing next week 6 different containers out there made of metal. Each grade level is going to have their own container for their equipment. You want to make sure you return it. Thirdly, we've had this rule for a while, but I've seen some slippage over the last year or so, and that is with personal equipment. Personal equipment like basketballs, soccer balls, footballs, your personal equipment needs to stay at home. And I know you love your best basketball and they're better than ours, or your footballs are probably better than ours, but we are going to only use school equipment here at school. And so if you brought something today, I want you to leave it in the classrooms in the locker, and then from now on, I want you to take it home, and let's not bring any personal equipment here to school. And then finally, let's make sure we're using the equipment appropriately. So that means with jump ropes, we're using them to jump. And then I guess one last thing. We're going to start to play some gaga ball probably again, and we're going to play football out in the field. And sometimes we get kind of competitive, and maybe people don't see things the same way and they get upset. Ask for an adult if you're having issues, but also just remember that, hey, if something happens, just replay it, redo it, and move on, because we want you to have a great time. All right, cafeteria. A reminder, first of all, that hats. Some of you wear hats outside for playground because it's getting hot, I get it. But when you come in the building, they have to come off. You can't wear them in the lunchroom. And you might ask, why can't we wear hats in school, Mr. Mackin? The police departments actually recommend that we don't, because it allows us to see who's in the building and keep our building safe. So that's why we don't have hats except for very special days. Secondly, you need to have your lunch ID if you're going to get milk or lunch. We've done a good job with it. We maybe slid back a little bit, but we're starting to get back on track. Make sure you have that. Kindness is expected. We are a really kind school. And I love that we're a kind school. And I love it when I see us saying please and thank you and are being polite when we're in the cafeteria. I also love the fact that we use really kind words, because I want every student here to feel respected and welcomed. And so we have to make sure that we are using kind words. And then finally, voice level. When we come in from recess sometimes, because it's getting so sunny outside, maybe our voice level is a little bit high. Okay, let's remind ourselves that where it has to be, and sometimes the parents might stop us and say, okay, let's bring the voice level down. We'll just be very cooperative. So with that, those are our reminders for spring. I think they're pretty straightforward, but I just want to make sure we end the school year well. And so as we go along here, keep in mind what time you should get here to school, what we should be doing on the playground, and then finally how we should be acting in the cafeteria. Go Cougars.